There's got to be a better way. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to It's Poppin', where we talk about everything pop-up camper related. So we have a problem, and it's not that big of a problem, but it's an annoying problem. So the only place that we've found a viable storage location for our bed support poles is in the front box. Now, unfortunately, within the front box, they get crammed right at the front, underneath all the chairs and our RV mat and everything else. So especially the longer ones, it's almost impossible to pull them out without scraping up something or catching on something else. So we want to solve this problem today. So what we're gonna do in this video is hopefully show you guys how to make a bed support pole holder for your pop-up camper. Now, this doesn't have to be exclusive for bed supports. You can store anything and everything that you want into it. The sky's the limit as far as what you guys can store in here, but we're gonna make one specifically for our bed supports. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so let's go over what we need for this tube holder project. So to start off with, of course, you're gonna wanna choose your PVC. So we went with a 4-inch inner diameter PVC tube, and we bought 10 feet of it. Now I'll explain why we went with 4-inch and 10-foot length. So we're going to choose to put our PVC pole holder on the front of our camper, and we're going to mount it to the front tongue just behind the battery. Now, what that meant was that we had a limited amount of space behind in between the front storage box and the battery box. And the largest diameter PVC tubing we could fit in there was 4 inches. So that's why we elected to go with that as opposed to a 6. Now, the reason we went with a 4-inch PVC tube is because that 4-inch PVC tube will hold all of our bed supports for both the front and the back. So the reason we got 10 foot is because essentially the width of our box is about 82 inches. So that's what, 6'6" or thereabouts. So it was either buy a 5-foot length, which would of course be a little short, or go with a full 10 foot and then make sure we have a length of PVC that runs our whole box, and we can fit more stuff in there if need be. Along with the PVC, we of course got these 4-inch, caps, threaded caps. Now these come separately, the cap and the threaded part, but you should be able to pick these up as well. So what we plan on doing is, of course, having 2 of these, one on each end. That way we can access this tube from both ends. We can slide the bed supports in both ways. To go along with those, of course, we needed some PVC primer. And inevitably, every time I pick one of these cans up, or this can up, my hands get all purple. So yeah, like I said, it's inevitable. And then of course we have some rain or shine PVC cement for sealing those caps on. Now, to affix the PVC down to the front of the camper or the tongue of the camper, we're going to be utilizing some of these some of this metal hanging strap. Also common for hanging PVC in your house too. So we're going to use this in conjunction with some pretty small, maybe 1 inch, and if I think they're number 8 self-drilling screws with a small little number 10 washer on it. And these will be what we use to mount the hanging strap to the tongue of the camper. And then what we're going to do to cinch this down onto the PVC, we have some of these, let's call these maybe 1.5 inch bolts, and I believe they're they're 1/4 inch bolts, but they're 1.5 inch long. And then of course a nut and a washer to go on those as well. So let's see if we can get this to focus, not on my eyes. Yeah, there we go. So that's what those look like. So we have 2 of those, and then like I said, 2 sets of the self drilling screws, and that's pretty much everything you're going to need for this modification for your pop-up. All right guys, so how I determine to cut the length of my PVC depends on 2 things. A, it's going to be the length of your box, or however long you determine you want to cut your PVC, and then probably minus the amount, and let's see if you can kind of see this length right here in which your threading covers. So of course, once we slide this end onto our PVC is going to go in about, oh, yay far. But then of course we have this extra sticking out. And for us, this extra is approximately, I don't know, let's call it 1.75 inches. We're gonna bump that up to 2 inches just for a little bit of leeway on either side. So we're gonna take 2 inches off for this side. Other side is gonna get 2 inches. So we take our 82-inch original length, knock 2 + 2 off, so 4. We're gonna cut our PVC length at 78 inches for our particular pop-up. Alright guys, so here's what we got going on. So after we placed our 4-inch PVC on our tongue here, we kind of marked on the frame itself right here about, let's say maybe 1/4 inch behind the actual center point of the PVC pipe. And this center mark is going to line up right with the center here, and that's where we're going to drill our hole for our self-tapping screw, so that way we can adhere our hanging strap to the frame itself. So the reason we went slightly behind the PVC, or the center point of the PVC, is just so that the PVC isn't resting directly on that screw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole here for our self-tapping screw, just because it's such thick metal, and then we'll get our hanging strap tied down to the frame right here. right guys, so the specific straps we made for that 4-inch inner diameter holder has 30 holes. So not sure if this is a universal distance, but just in case you end up having the same hanger as we do, it's got 30 holes through it. And then we decided to bolt or screw down the 9th hole from the bottom into the frame of the camper. Yep, we're good. All right guys, so now that we got the PVC pipe popped back in with our hanging straps ready, we're just going to use that 1/4-inch nut and bolt to cinch it down just so it's snug and tight. All right guys, so that's it. Not too hard of a project, and now we have a great place to put our bed support poles. And as an added bonus, we found out with a little bit of tetrasing that we can slide our roof safety bars, the 2 supports that go on either end of the roof lifting arms. And those fit in there as well, so we freed up a little bit more space in our front storage box by doing so. I think that this modification could be really beneficial for those of you without a front storage box, or those of you who don't have like a really long area to store those long items. So if you guys enjoyed the video, if you found these helpful, and maybe this might be something you might do to your pop-up camper, consider subscribing and liking the video. So once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully we'll see you at the next one. If not, hopefully see you out there camping.